we're living in a world where everything is fighting for our attention, and just noticing what happens when we give presence to the thing that's right in front of us. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, I have my new moon circle on April 27th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to spend an hour together live on Zoom, I would love to have you there. This new moon, I would imagine, is going to bring up some discomfort. So if you want some support in setting intentions and working through any discomfort that may be coming up, highly suggest joining us. So I'm going to try this out. I'm going to pull some cards for each of the signs. So depending on your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, you can listen for all three. Maybe take what you need, leave the rest. So I'm going to start with Taurus. Happy birthday, Taurus. Any of the Tauruses in the room or any Tauruses watching this. So the first one will be Taurus. The Camel Boy. Small steps, asking for help. That feels very Taurus, and it feels like something that Taurus may need to work on, asking for help, taking the small steps. Sometimes Taurus can get a little bit overwhelmed, can get a little bit, it is Earth, so Earth does take on some responsibility for other people as well. It could be a time to be responsible for yourself, take accountability for where you are in your life, but also knowing that there's people around you. Back to that Venusian quality of receiving, asking for help when you need it. And then Gemini. So again, sun, moon, and rising. You can listen for all three, just one if that feels better. But this is for Gemini. The resting tree. This feels fitting because Gemini would have this Taurus energy in the 12th house, Gemini rising at least. The resting tree, patience and stillness. So the 12th house is often a time where we're releasing some things. We may feel a little bit more apt for solitude. We may not really want to go out. And I see her, she's just resting under the tree. She's taking her solitude. There's nobody else around. There's candlelight, some mushrooms, just like the delicious earth, like that Taurus earth, the roots. So she's just like lying there under that tree near the roots, just like really resting, resting, being still, having patience. So if you are letting go of something, having patience and having like giving yourself some grace as well. We live in such a fast world, and Gemini with Taurus in the 12th house, it's a time to really lean into it, surrender to it, and let anything go that is ready to go. And then Cancer, for Taurus season, Cancer. Again, the Camel Boy. This one was in reverse. This feels very fitting for Cancer. It challenges you to stop the course of action you're on and get busy with mundane chores. Nothing can happen right now for you to move forward in your inquiry. It's a time to chop wood, carry water, attend to your home, declutter, wash your car, declutter your closets, spring cleaning, and also maybe a spring cleaning of your thoughts. Meditation would help too. Stop attempting to accomplish everything single-handedly. Sometimes Cancer can very much be the mama bear, wanting to take care of everything, wanting to take care of everyone else. But the reminder to like maybe let go of some of that, let go of the need to do it all on your own. Again, similar to Taurus when it was right side up. It's this sense of like asking for help, receiving that receptive nature, receiving, asking for help, and receiving the help. That can be also very hard for Cancer. Cancer, when I think of the crab, it's vulnerable in its shell. It doesn't really want to let people in unless it feels completely safe. So if this is you, it may feel good to reach out and ask for that help, or to focus on letting go of some things, decluttering. It's so funny. I'm a Cancer rising and I've been decluttering my closets. I have a bunch of garbage bags full of clothes to go donate. So like that's for me also. But for Leo, let's go through Leo. This is the one. The Well Watcher. Wisdom, power of the divine. She looks very stoic. Wisdom, power of the divine. The Well Watcher. I'm really curious to see what this one says too. So the need to go within to contemplate the true source of power in the world, which is, he reminds you, the divine. So we can see that little white owl on the Well Watcher's shoulder as well. That to me is a sign of wisdom, divinity. The affirmation and prayer will invite the divine to bring miracles and resolution to your life. Thy will be done through me for the highest good of all and for the true manifestation of my purpose, which is very fitting because Leo Taurus season happens in the 10th house, which is our legacy, our purpose. Oversimplified. Your purpose is definitely more than just the 10th house, but I think the manifestation of the purpose and really like allowing other people to see that part. And this is the part that other people do meet in you, especially professionally or in however, like whatever status you hold in society. This is where people meet that. So you will know the way forward by the still small voice within. It may also answer your call by sending others to help guide you. So I think this is very fitting for the 10th house for Leo, the wisdom, the power of the divine. And I think with Taurus there as well in the 10th house, it is this deep, like knowing this deep, like when I think of Taurus in the 10th house, it's got to feel good. Like the work that you're doing in the world has to feel good. And I think oftentimes we meet the divine through our physical body as well. And also when we give space for that voice, that small voice from within, the voice of the divine, of God, of the creator, like whatever you want to call it, we can then follow our purpose from there. I think sometimes Leo, feel like I can say this because this is my sun sign. Sometimes we get our ego in the way. And this card really feels like the opportunity to drop the ego in a sense of like allowing your soul to come forward. Not necessarily saying the ego is a bad thing. It's just like maybe we don't need the protection of our ego at this moment to do our soul work. So if you are a Leo, leaning into the signs, leaning into what feels good, maybe praying on it, meditating on it, thinking about what direction you're moving. Does it feel good? Is the foundation solid? Do we need to like take a step back and reconfigure the foundation, the roots, before we can like allow the branches to soar into the sky? Branches don't really soar, but extend into the sky, I guess. And then Virgo. The card for Virgo during Taurus season. We got the earthy vibes. Again, the camel boy. The camel boy really wants his moment. Feels very Taurus, this camel boy. Small steps, asking for help. I think Virgo is also one of those signs that can get overwhelmed by all of the steps. It can take on a lot of responsibility. And I think the camel boy is coming in to really tell these. It's so funny, like Taurus, Virgo, both earth signs. Cancer, we saw it as the challenger, and it's a cardinal sign. Like all of these signs that are kind of taking care of other people or maybe hold a lot of responsibility. The camel boy is coming in and being like, you don't have to be, you do not have to be responsible for it all. You have to also take small steps. The small steps during Taurus season is what's really going to get you to the big places, the places that you actually want to be. And I think Taurus season is an opportunity for us to get clear on where we actually want to be. What do we want to feel coming back into that sensual body? What do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? Like, do I want the virality or do I just want, it sounds so bad. Like I just, every time I hear the word viral, I think of like an infectious disease. It's like, do we really want the infectious disease or do we want the peace and the pleasure and the joy? And I don't know, something to think about. Virgo in the ninth house. Okay, Libra. Libra during Taurus season for the next month. For Libra, the Spirit Whisperer. Divine guidance, higher knowing. And this was Challenger as well. This is so interesting because Libra is going through Taurus. Taurus happens so Taurus season will happen in the 8th house for Libra. So the Spirit Whisperer, it feels very much like the unconscious of the 8th house, the shadow, how we meet our shadow. It may be a whisper. There may be something pulling us deeper into the 8th house for Libra. I'm going to just take a look on what it says in here. Speaking of the shadow, like I just mentioned, red flags are waving. So Libra, what red flags are you sorry, this is very aggressive. I'm just like, what red flags are you ignoring? You must pay attention. Cleaning up messes you didn't even know you'd made. So she challenges you to start again and to trust your intuition, that 8th house intuition, facing the shadow, noticing where things are coming up. In time, you will be back on track. And on this occasion, you can't possibly go wrong since you're that much more aware of the possible changes you need to step away from. If this is about a relationship, hello, Libra, you may be repeating something in your past that you don't need to relearn. Stay away, as this may end up a costly distraction. That said, lessons learned over and over make for great wisdom later. This feels very Libra. And with Taurus happening in the 8th house, it's really this awareness of the red flags, the grace, and also the wisdom of knowing, like, oh, we've been down this road before. How am I going to choose to possibly do this a different way? I see the signs. I have those spidey senses that are maybe telling me, like, oh, I've seen this before. And how can I choose knowing that I've seen this before and I know how this might play out? Being aware, noticing the shadow, noticing what you're meeting in other people, noticing the parts of you that are coming up to maybe be tended to. Like if we go back to the roots of the Taurus seedling, it's like the roots are growing and like really giving it the nourishment that it needs, the safety, the security that you need in those more intimate relationships, those 8th house relationships. So is this something that you want to continue? Does it feel good? Or does it feel like, oh, this feels a little bit familiar and maybe familiarity isn't necessarily a good thing? And then Scorpio. On the heels of that 8th house talk, let's see what Scorpio has in store for Taurus season. The wise woman of Wonderland, integrity and compromise. Scorpio, this is happening in the 7th house for the Scorpio risings. So this feels fitting. Integrity and compromise. Thinking about the 7th house and that balance that needs to happen. Where do I need to compromise? And Scorpio can sometimes have a challenging time with compromise. Scorpio at a lower expression can really want to control things or want things to play out a certain way or maybe manipulate the situation. But at the high road, it's like, okay, I trust myself enough to go into these negotiations, these relationships, and know that I don't have to stay if it's not in alignment, but also saying that not everything is going to go my way. And if there are 2 people involved or more than me involved, then how can I also compromise and not need everything to be the way that I want it to be? So something to think about while Taurus season is happening in the 7th house for Scorpios, Scorpio rising specifically. Sagittarius. See what's up for Sagittarius during Taurus season. This is it. The Horse King. Assistance and control. And this one's also the Challenger. So the assistance and control. interesting because Sagittarius is happening in the sixth house, and the sixth house is a house of service. So with Taurus season going through the sixth house for Sagittarius, it is like, how can I be of service to myself first? How can I be of assistance? It almost feels like, and because it is in the challenger position, it almost feels like that analogy or the metaphor of like filling your own cup first, or like only being able to give from a full cup and not giving from an empty cup. It feels very much like, okay, I may not be able to control the whole situation. I may not be able to control, like, sixth house is very analytical and methodical and practical. It's like, okay, this, and this. And with Taurus in the sixth house, it can feel very much like I have my routine. I cannot budge. But I wonder if this is an opportunity to maybe release some of that control, find that safety again in the body, because Sagittarius as well is a very adventurous, that mutable fire. It's like letting go. So Sagittarius might have an easier time with this letting go and asking for assistance or giving to themselves what they need first. I guess I kind of said it. The very first line is the Horse King wants to know why you think you can do everything by yourself. Keeping control of everything around you is counterproductive and exhausting. Release the reins a little bit. You don't have to have your hands so tightly on the reins. I'm also thinking of the horse, like when you're riding a horse, it's been decades since I've ridden a horse, but I know like when you hold the reins too tight, the horse isn't going to go anywhere because it like doesn't know. And there's also this sense of trust too when you're riding a horse between both parties. There is this like connection that happens between the horse and the rider. And if the rider is too uptight and holding those reins too tightly, the horse isn't going to go where you want it to go. So there's this sense of like releasing the reins a little bit, asking for help. It seems like a theme. It's like we can't do everything on our own. In order to be able to nourish ourselves during Taurus season, we do have to receive. And that goes for everyone. Capricorn, the Hawk Prince, spirit communication, paying attention. Very interesting. There's two hawks on his arms. It's very much like this energy coming down from the divine as well. So there's this connection between spirit, it's very strong too. And I'm thinking of like Capricorn is a very strong sign. And also this Taurus energy is in the fifth house for Capricorn, which is around joy. It's around romance, but it also reminds me of the strength card as well, because it's associated with Leo. Okay, so it's saying expect a phone call, letter, email, or conversation that lets you know the next step to take towards your greatest good, or tell you that you have arrived at an important stage along your path. So it's also the ally for spirit communication. So pay attention when you think you hear something important pop out at you on the radio, on the TV, and overhearing the conversations of strangers. Spirit is constantly in dialogue with you. Are you listening? So staying open and expecting spirit to speak to you and to show you the way to your prosperity in all areas of life. So I definitely feel this too, because if I could add my own touch on the astrology of it as well, it's this feeling of joy. And I think sometimes Capricorn can hold itself back from experiencing joy. Capricorn is a very responsible, reliable, it's a heavy, not necessarily a heavy sign, but the responsibilities can sometimes feel a little bit heavy. It can feel like, okay, there's no time for joy, there's no place for joy. But I think through experiencing joy and allowing time for your joy, the fifth house stuff, that's when spirit really communicates, when we're in flow, when we're doing things that we love. So I think also offering yourself the opportunity to really lean in and give presence to the things that you enjoy doing, the things that you love that don't necessarily have an ROI. It's like, how can I just have a joyful experience just for the sake of having a joyful experience? And maybe noticing if spirit connects with you in those moments as well. And then Aquarius, so we got 3 more left. Aquarius for Taurus season. The Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, and withholding. In the challenger position, the act of withholding isn't welcome in her world. In fact, withholding information is another way to lie. Are you doing this? Perhaps someone is doing it to you, withholding something in order to keep you manipulated and controlled so you believe deep down you're not quite good enough. And for Aquarius, this is happening in the 4th house. So there's some unconscious stuff that's coming up, possibly. And when I think of the new moon specifically, and right now, as I'm recording this video, there's a fixed T-square in the sky that involves Mars, Pluto, and the sun. So there is this sense of like discomfort or power struggles, possibly. And this seems to be what this card is talking about. So really thinking about and addressing the things that maybe we don't want to address. Being honest with ourselves as well as honest with other people for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. So the best way out of this mire is to give with honesty and with an open heart and without expectation. So the Lady of the Gift challenges you to be generous and compassionate, and you can always start again. And then Pisces for Taurus season. What does Pisces need to know for Taurus season? The Spiral Dancer. Circuitous root perception. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. Very fitting for 3rd house, the communication. And Pisces, perception. That word stood out to me for Pisces. And with Taurus in the 3rd house, it's very much about communication. She's holding a light and there is a spiral. It almost feels like knowledge, or yeah, it's almost like she's holding knowledge. And this is in the challenger position. I'm going to go to the book again. So it seems you're getting caught out of breath, going in the wrong direction. Sometimes you're busy dancing to your own tune that you find yourself out of step with everyone else. Perhaps now is the time to regroup, sit down, and rest for a while. Hello, Taurus season. Until the rhythm calls you to dance again. The Spiral Dancers is a gentle one, so be still and know that you're always loved. If your question is about a relationship, don't be too assertive now. This is the time to be receptive and to be allowing of someone else to take the lead and show his or her true nature to you. Interesting, because this is happening in the 3rd house and it is the challenger position. So there is this sense of like, okay, you don't need to have possibly that conversation right now, but maybe just sitting back, receiving, noticing, like she is holding that ball of wisdom, that ball of knowledge. I keep coming back to knowledge. And it's almost like the wisdom really is to step out for a moment. With Pisces energy, like I think of, it's very fairy-like, and this woman like almost has that fairy quality where it's like she's so in flow. She's in flow, but sometimes when we're so in flow, we miss the things that are on the ground, especially for that Pisces energy, where like when Taurus season comes around, we can come back down to earth, which is something that Pisces maybe sometimes needs to be grounded. It needs to be able to bring the flow into the mundane. So I think sometimes stepping out, and it seems like this is what this card is speaking to, where like if we step back for a moment, then more wisdom may come, or you may see things for what they actually are instead of having those rose-colored glasses on. And then the last card, feels like I've been doing this forever. If you do enjoy these card pulls, please let me know, because this is the first time that I'm doing it. And yeah, we'll see. So Aries, I started with Taurus on account of their birthday, but we'll end with Aries, the Phoenix. This feels very, I was just thinking in my mind too, as I was shuffling the cards, like, man, Aries probably just went through a lot. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we just went through eclipse season. We just went through retrogrades in Aries. Like there's a lot going on in that Aries part of our charts. So Aries people with sun, moon, and rising in Aries probably are going through that Phoenix moment. So this is the Phoenix, the resurrection, surrender to change. It is in the challenger position. So it almost feels like, okay, something was burned away. Something has been, like when I think of that fire energy too, it's very cleansing, it's regenerating. And Aries probably knows this so well, especially as a cardinal fire sign. It's like moving forward, moving like that rebirth energy. Aries is so good at starting new things. Maybe not so great at seeing them through and following through, but like starting new things and regenerating, breathing new life into situations, breathing new life into life itself. So this Phoenix energy feels very fitting for this Taurus season. And it's in reverse. It's in like this challenger position, as Colette Baron-Reid describes, or as she calls it. So it almost feels like, okay, maybe you're still in it. I'm going to read what it says though. But it feels to me like maybe you're still in that burning energy where it's like there's still this clarification happening and it may not be totally clear so that you can move forward with it. It's a gentle reminder to let go and let what doesn't work fall away. So maybe you're not allowing things to change because you're more comfortable with the familiar. Even if you know yourself, that's not the best you could create for yourself. So it's the sense of like fear of change and being crippled by the fear of change. So I wonder if the Aries people that are listening to this, I wonder if you're feeling that resistance to change. And Taurus happens in the second house for Aries. So the second house feels very routine-like. It is the house that's kind of associated with Taurus. So it can feel a little bit like, oh, this is the way things always were. So it might be hard to visualize the way that it could be if the way that it could be is different than the way things always have been. So really thinking about your worth and the way that you want to enjoy your experience and your foundations that you're building upon. So really allowing anything that's falling away to fall away, especially since eclipse season just like rocked your world. These past couple of years have probably rocked your world because with the nodes moving through Aries and Libra, there's been a lot of like change, I would imagine, for people with Aries placements. So if things are asking to be changed, asking to be let go, now may be a time to really find comfort in the physical body or in nature or in whatever gives you that physical comfort, slowing down, allowing yourself to feel safe, really indulge in things that make you feel safe, and also finding the courage, which I know you have because you're Aries, you're like badass, finding the courage to let go. So that's all. That's all of the signs. Again, let me know if you enjoyed the card pulls. If so, I will keep them going. I'm just kind of experimenting a little bit here. If you enjoyed it, if it was helpful for you, definitely let me know. And again, this was Colette Baron-Reid, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. It felt fitting because there is a lot of that Pluto energy happening, especially coming up to the new moon in Taurus. So again, if you want to join me for the new moon workshop, please do. I would love to see your face there. And until next time, and your Taurus season reminder, just to go slow down a little bit, indulge in nature, learn from nature, and know that we can find comfort in stillness and in sensuality, and we can find pleasure in our bodies. And yeah, until next time, thank you for being here. If you've watched this video the whole way through, reminder again, download the moon phase PDF. It talks about new moons and how you might be able to work with them for free if you don't want to shell out some money to come to the new moon circle. I'd love to have you either way. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.